she's so happy about that. So I'm assuming you're just as proud of a mother as well. And you've got a new book out called Nowhere But Up, and I think it's a great message here. So before we get off track talking about 9 million things, tell us a little bit about the book, Pattie.
Thank you. Yeah, so the story, Nowhere But Up, is the story of me, my life growing up, pre-Justin and, just my journey having Justin. But it's not really about him. It's about, the struggles that I went through. It's about, I suffered a lot of abuse growing up, sexual abuse, and as a result, I got into drugs and alcohol as a teenager and was filled with a lot of depression and shame and anxiety, and I led to a suicide attempt at 17, and then I got pregnant as a young teenager soon after that, and so it's difficult, but it's not a woe is me book. It's really like a book of how I came through it, how I got through it, my healing journey, and how I overcame, because I feel like if I can come through this stuff, anybody can. And so that's really my message, is one of hope and inspiration, that no matter what you've gone through, there's hope.
It's such a great message, and, a lot of people, it's a position that is really hard to relate to, I'm guessing, but so nice for people that are in that position to have somebody like you who's actually been through it, so they don't, it's not somebody trying to say, oh, I know how you feel. It's somebody who literally knows how they feel. That's got to be...
Yeah, and I there's so many things that I address in there that I feel like somebody can relate to something. I think, I talk about even being bullied when I was in school and just going through some rejection and some pain and parents' divorce and, how that stuff left me. So I think that people would find me a lot more relatable than they might imagine.
Yeah, that's it. And I agree. After, reading so much about you and doing some research, I think that you're absolutely right. Other news, yesterday, did you hear Usher, the Biebs' mentor, your son's mentor there, his son almost drowned. Did you hear that news?
Yeah, I know. It's so terrible. I can't even imagine after, what happened with Kyle, and it's crazy.
Yeah, for people that don't know, Usher's stepson passed away in a water incident, just a little bit ago, and so this is interesting. But I wanted to know if you had Justin at such a young age. Did you ever have any, I'm sure a lot of first-time parents have near-death experiences or something scary happened. Do you remember any crazy, moments with Bieber when he was a little baby where you dropped him or left him on top of a car or anything crazy like that?
No. I remember when I was younger, I almost drowned a couple times, but no, he's always been a fish, and thank goodness we've never had any close calls. The closest I came was he got himself stuck in an elevator for a couple of hours, and now he's claustrophobic. So
that's all. You got stuck one time, and now he's always going to love it. They never want to be in an elevator again. I saw this just this morning too. Had somebody asked you already? Have you heard about what Mark Wahlberg wants to say to your son?
Somebody mentioned something earlier. I don't know, I haven't seen it.
It's directly to Bieber. He wants to say, Justin, are you listening to me? Don't be naughty. Be a nice boy. Pull your trousers up. Make your mom proud. And stop smoking weed, you little bastard. End quote. That seems a little harsh. The people need to understand that Bieber's he's still a young guy. We got to cut him a little slack, right? Or are you in the same camp that you kind of want him to shape up a little bit?
It's hard for me to address this stuff in public. I have these conversations with him, obviously. I'm his mom. And, you can imagine how I feel as his mom, when people are talking about him. And I just, I have talks with him.
That's good. How often do you guys... It's interesting dynamic. Because I think my mom, obviously, we're not on the same page, your son and I, but my mom, I get myself in trouble on the radio here, say things people don't like, and my mom has to deal with it, and I know she's, very defensive, and because she's my mom, kind of like you said. How close, now that he's traveling and he's on the road, how close are you mother-son still? Do you talk to him daily, weekly? What's your guys' relationship like?
I text him every day, and I call him, and I come on and off the road every couple of weeks. I was just with him last week. I was on my book tour, and I took my my tour, and I met up with his tour, and we hung out in Canada for a while, and he was showing me his new music, which was really good. And, dancing, it was really good.
Good. So it's still, he's not trying to pull any sort of a, young, crazy person move and distance himself from you. He still understands your mom and family come first.
Oh, yeah. He, brings his dad out and the kids. His dad has 2 little ones, and, yeah, definitely. We're close.
That's great. And are you currently with anybody, or are you single, if you don't mind me asking? I'm not coming on to you. I'm just interested.
No, I'm dating. I'm dating. I don't know how serious we are at this point, but I'm dating.
I just wonder that, because that's got to be you're such a normal dating a woman who has a child, that's growing up, and, the age of Justin Bieber is one thing, but that's got to be, is that like a second date thing where you mention the fact that, oh, by the way, my son I was telling you about, he's Justin Bieber? That seems like a bomb to drop on somebody, like, whoa. And you've got to wonder about people's motives then, are they, how do you work it?
I don't know. It's right now. I'm dating somebody that I've been friends with for a long time. So
good.
I don't know.
So you
kind of have to worry about that part yet, but
yeah,
I know that's a challenge.
Yeah, I was thinking about that and kind of just trying to figure out how you would have kind of a normal love life and dating life, because I realized but then you made a good point. If it's somebody you've known for many years, obviously you know really where they're coming from and that they love you for Pattie and not the fact that you're, the mother of one of the most famous men in the world right now. Did you ever imagine,
it's a challenge, but, I'm doing okay. I've been single a long time, and I'm happy being single. I would like to settle down, but it'll be okay. I'll find him.
That's good. And one last question. 3 people now on our app have asked, what do you think about his friends, Bieber's new friends? Do you have a problem with them? Do you like the new friends, or are you just kind of letting him pick and choose and do his own thing and grow up?
I think, at 19, your parenting style changes. I'm still always mom. I'm still always going to have a voice in his ear, but he's going to make some of his own decisions, and I don't really know that he'd want me out in public talking about him and his friends.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way you're not commenting on any of the spitting incident, the urinating thing, the speeding, any of those problems.
I think a lot of people have even put in articles and stuff that I'm making these rounds going out to address my son's behavior, but actually I've had this plan to promote this book and using this platform to do good with it for so long that I couldn't have predicted the timing of all this. And of course people are going to ask, but really, I'm not that mom going out.
Do you just text him and just say, like, you little son of a bitch, I had my book tour coming up. Why'd you have to spit on people? Would you get mad at him sometimes and just go, come on, Justin?
He didn't spit on anybody. No, I'm just joking. I noticed, I was in Toronto, and they had this picture about when he spit, and he was like, I would never spit on my fans. What are they saying? But I don't want to get into all that. I don't want to talk about the headlines, but there are some things that are made up and exaggerated, but I'm definitely not making excuses. He knows what I think. He knows what I agree with, what I don't, and those are the kind of things I just kind of got to keep private.
That's mom. Mom is mom, and hey, I don't think any mom out there can say anything bad about the way you're handling the situation. You're letting him know, what you think, but also keeping his private life private, and I think that's commendable. I think what you did as a young mother and as somebody that suffered the abuse you did is great. I love that you're trying to turn it into a positive thing. It's
so much.
So amazing. The new book, Nowhere But Up, by Pattie Mallette. You've got to look for the book. If you're a Bieber fan or not, just get this book. If you know somebody in a similar situation, get it for them. And Pattie, thank you so much for joining us. And hey, tell Justin someday he needs to call us. We get no love in Montana here.
Oh, okay, I will.
All right, Pattie, thank you so much, and best of luck with the rest of the tour.
All right, thank you, guys.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.